Hello urban farmers and welcome to another episode. Now in this episode I am in Czech Republic and I just wanted to show you a typical garden in the Czech Republic. Now typical meaning that it's just in a semi-rural area. You can say that it's pretty urban actually. It's about 2 k's away from, let's say, a small city. Or should I say, yeah, small city, and it's about 30 kilometers away from a big city similar to, let's say, Melbourne. So that's where we are, and I'll show you a little bit how the typical sort of garden looks like. We've got some pears, we've got some, we call it plums as well. We've got a whole heap of different sort of grapes here. They've also got planted quite a few strawberries. So all those strawberries that you see right there, that's their strawberries as well. And it's really just for the children to come outside and pick this stuff when they want to. So it just keeps the children outside really. So one thing that they have a lot of is berries. So one of the berries that they have here, I think it's like some sort of a yellow berry, but it sort of looks like that. It's very, very sweet, and what they sort of do with it, and because there's quite a lot of it, so they'll mix berries with grapes and various other fruits to make what we call back home grappa. But essentially, if you leave it for long enough and if you cure it well enough, it's actually called cognac. So you can actually make quite a lot of things with berries. I'm just picking some and eating them, because I haven't had berries in a long time that were straight off the plant itself. The taste difference between the berries that you get off the plant versus the berries that you buy are just like worlds apart. They've got so much more sugar because you're picking them straight, very, very ripe, straight off the plant itself, and they just have a lot more sugar. I'm just gonna pick a few. Okay, so the other thing that they have, mulch. They not just mulch, but you know, things that are going to break down and become soil one day. So everything here gets mulched, grass and everything like that. And what they have it here is in this iron box, which has holes on each side, which helps with the airflow. So that basically allows the mulch to break down a lot quicker. So a couple of other things that I have is some tomatoes, so you can see here. So they've got a fair few tomatoes here, and I think it's called, is it fennel or something along those lines? They've also got that as well. They've got some more berries, and these are blackberries. So these are blackberries of some description, and they look something like that. Not as nice to eat. It's on semi-sour sort of side. Still quite nice though, so it's still quite tasty. A couple of other things that they have is obviously quite a lot of flowers and all that sort of stuff. And they've also got another plant which is called aronia. I'm not too sure if aronia is actually the name in English, but it's quite healthy, so it's just this thing here. And there's many medical sort of things that you can actually do with it. And they've got, yeah, just, you know, going on tomatoes and all that sort of stuff. And there's some more sort of tomatoes right here. And the reason why I say it's a typical garden is because just over on the other side you can see that's actually the neighbour's garden over there. And you can see the neighbour's garden, they've got quite a lot of plantation as well. And they don't live on massive blocks here. It's like 700 or 800 square meters. The difference why there's so much space in the backyard is because the house is literally on the street, and I'll show you that as well, which allows for these massive backyards. And see on the other side here, all of those trees over there, that's their neighbour's backyard. So they've got like apples, they've got plums, they've got all sorts of stuff. And I think I also saw a pear on the other side. And they've got a whole bunch of stuff planted just down there, which sort of looks like potatoes actually. Yeah, they've got a whole heap of stuff planted as well. So every backyard here has something planted, whether it's just for themselves or whether it's, you know, I don't think it's any of this is for the market really. I think most of it is actually just for you know, personal consumption, so to say. So yeah, that's sort of like the typical, you know, backyard that has a fair sort of bit of stuff planted, mainly for consumption. So especially the fact that you know, they've got kids, and kids can come outside and pick all the fruits and vegetables and all that sort of stuff. And this is a quince. I've got one of these at home, and it looks sort of like that. They become sort of, I don't know, maybe tennis ball size, maybe a bit bigger than a tennis ball size, and it has a very, very beautiful smell. It's quite an old fruit. It was you know, in the older times, you know, they would pick that fruit, put it in the house, and it would just make the whole house smell nice. And they obviously have quite a lot of space here, just to, you know, grassy area for the kids to run around and all that sort of stuff. Oh, the other thing that they have, which I didn't even know that you can actually grow this in Czech Republic. I'm definitely going to try and grow this at home in Australia. Is they've got kiwi fruit. So this here is just a kiwi wine. I reckon I would actually grow a kiwi wine just for how beautiful the leaves look, and nothing else really. But their kiwi is actually producing. So the kiwi actually has, and it's quite an interesting fruit when you look at it. It's I've never actually seen a kiwi being grown. I've never seen it in real life. So for me, this is a very special moment, actually, to be honest. So the other thing that they have a lot of is figs. I noticed at least 4 or 5 fig trees, and they sort of look like this. They've got these beautiful big leaves, absolutely stunning. And when you touch it, it's sort of like, it almost feels like you're touching, I don't know, a t-shirt or something. It's just got very, very sort of like the leaves must have like little, almost like little hairs on them or something, you know. Really, really nice. And they've got a whole lot of figs, and they seem to be thriving in this area. They really do. Pretty much wherever you plant them, they just grow and take off. Anyway, so I thought I would just you know, walk you through the typical Czech garden. So another super interesting fact is that most of the houses here actually dig up a well. I noticed actually this happens in Austria as well, and in Serbia and Croatia. Is that, see that thing down there? The thing is, yep, that's a well. So they dig it up, and then they use the water for gardening and so forth. You can see over there, it's just watering a newly planted tree. Doesn't happen that much in Australia. No idea why, but yeah, there's a well. It's probably like 5 or 6 meters deep, and that's where the water collects, and you can just pump up some for your garden and whatnot. Interesting fact. So just as an example, that's actually my uncle's backyard. He's got a swimming pool there, but it also has a whole heap of fruit trees planted around as well. And all of the neighbours' backyards have pretty much exactly the same thing. They at least have 1 or 2 fruit trees. Some of them have vegetables planted. I even saw either a goat or something along those lines in one of the neighbours' backyards as well, just grazing. And this is a fairly urban area, so it would be an equivalent to, let's say, I don't know, a dandelion or something along those lines, which is interesting. I haven't sort of seen, I haven't seen that before. But so you can see over there, that's where the animals were grazing. And my uncle has a whole lot of grapevines as well, and he uses these grapevines to make alcohol, essentially. That's what he uses these grapevines for. And he mixes the grapevines with the berries that he has down there, which has grown exceptionally well. So it's this thing down here. You know, you puts that in a barrel, leaves it for 3 weeks while it sort of essentially ferments, and then he distills it and makes alcohol out of it. I am now in Czech Republic, and next place that I'm visiting is going to be Serbia. So hopefully I do one of these sort of videos for Serbia. I don't think, did I do? Yeah, I did actually do a Croatian one. Anyway, well, up until next time, I hope you are enjoying it, and I hope that you are actually inspired by some of these gardens that I've seen. And then, yeah, just hope you plant something in your garden. Plant some trees, plant some shrubs. They don't need much caring. You don't have to be outside hugging them, kissing them, or anything like that. and then within a year or two you might even have some produce that you can actually really enjoy, because the taste is massive between the taste that you buy in the shops versus what you actually pick straight off the tree. Anyway, all up until next time, I'll see you. Bye.